Merry Christmas, everyone. I've got my Santa hat on. I've got my ugly Christmas sweater on. And in the Christmas spirit, I'm going to be very grinchy and bring you the latest update to our not top sets table that shows all the sets that other YouTubers are talking about for skipping for investing and reselling purposes. And at the end, I will give you the 3 sets that I totally agree with. And also at the end, I will give you the 3 sets where all the other Lego YouTubers are wrong, and I think they will actually be very good investments. Hey everyone, I am Kevin. Welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics. I've got the latest not top sets table update. This table goes all the way back to January 1st. In that time frame, I've watched 506 Lego Investing and Reselling YouTube videos across 29 channels, and there have been a total of 3,562 individual Lego set mentions. Of course, most of those mentions are in favor of investing, but when a YouTuber says, hey, I am skipping this set for investment purposes, well, I log it on this table and tabulate all that up and share that with you. You've heard me tongue-in-cheek say before that this is where I watch all the Lego investing and reselling videos on YouTube so that you don't have to. And I certainly enjoy doing that and tabulating all the data together, but all those other channels for the most part are really good, so I highly recommend checking them all out. Let's get right into it. First set, 75317, the Brickheads, Mandalorian and Child. Everything screams great investment about this set. It's Mandalorian. First season was very popular. Second and third season were okay. The 2 characters look great in Brickhead's form, but it's been on the shelves since August of 2020. It's a $20 set, and it's been as low as $11, I think, and I'm sure people have got it even lower than that with stacking deals and discounts and everything else. I think at this point, anybody that wants this set has it. I'm sure way in the future, new Star Wars and Lego fans will want this set, but it would be a very long hold time in my opinion. This set got 3 mentions against investing recently, which vaulted it to the top spot on this table with 16 total negative mentions. It is retiring at the end of the year, as I said, and remember, the R in parentheses in front of the set number and name on my table indicates that according to Brickset or the Brick Fanatics list or the shop-at-home-lego.com last chance list, either US or some of the European lists, if any of those say that it's retiring, then I mark it as retiring at the end of this current year, which is 2023. Next one is this lovely 4+ set, 75332. ATST, just over a year's shelf life, 87 pieces and a whopping $35, and it's a rough set to look at. The walker's the best part. Remember, it is a 4+ set. The speeder bike is super plain, and then this tree is just a disaster. Some people have suggested that since this set is so unpopular that maybe at the $20 price point, there would be some meat on the bone for the secondary market. I'm not in that camp. If I got this set for $10, maybe $12, I might pick a couple up, but there is really nothing here. Although all 3 minifigures are exclusive, the Scout Trooper is nothing special. We've had lots of those in similar form. The ATST Driver, same thing. A lot of these in similar form in the past. The only thing that's kind of interest is this Wicket Ewok, which is kind of cool, but that's not enough for me to drive the set. And I do want to point out that it is only a 2.9 on Brickset. Very low rating. Third on our table is 21337, the Ideas Table Football. 1 more mention, up to 13 total on the negative side. A short shelf life, less than 2 years for an Ideas set, which is almost unheard of. Lego did the best they could with this set, and it just didn't work out. Sometimes you have a good plan, do everything you can possibly do, and it just doesn't go in your favor. It's a $250 set for the 2,300 or so pieces. It doesn't look fun to build. It doesn't look fun to play. It doesn't look fun to display. It's very chunky and blocky. It looks nothing like the original fan design. Lego clearly was unable to replicate that and meet their durability and design standards. And so again, they did the best they could so that kids could actually play with it and not have the pieces pull apart and loosen up. And then they tried to sweeten the pot with all these extra minifigure elements, which are great, but it's just not enough to sell the set. It's been 40% off for a long time on lego.com. It is currently sold out. I mean, we're darn near the end of the year. And if we look at eBay, here's one that's $216 before shipping, but now we've got 180 shipped, 160 with $40 of shipping on it, 245 shipped, 240 shipped. So after all of the shipping and fees, You're not much over the $150 price point. It is an idea set, and ideas typically do well. So maybe this one long term, especially if you're able to do some stacking and get this significantly lower, maybe around $100 if you used Rakuten, gift with purchase, double VIP, who knows? I didn't even look that closely what all could be done to get this set's price lower. With so many other good Lego investing options, I didn't want to deal with this one. I think it's too risky. I think that it ties up a lot of money, takes up some space, and it's a lot to manage, and it really could die out on the secondary market. Fourth on the table, 75318, The Child, 4 more mentions up to 13. Over 3 years shelf life, $90. And really not bad. You know, Grogu's cute, and we all like Grogu for that reason, and this set is pretty cute and captures Grogu pretty well. I like the cloth knapsack and the hands and the ears and even the head. The eyes and mouth aren't great. Lego really struggles with eyes and mouth sculpting with a lot of their characters. But I agree, because of the long shelf life and because of the main comparable, I'm skipping it. Yoda retired in 2022. It was a $100 set, and it's only going for $90 right now. But don't worry, we have this great Chewbacca set that just came out that is going to save the medium-sized brick-built Star Wars characters, because this set is awesome. And you guys already know that I am totally pulling your leg, goofing around. This set is pretty rough. When it came out, a lot of people were not happy about this set. I actually like it okay. I kind of want one myself. I don't want this set, and I don't want the Child, but you know, I always have a special place in my heart for Chewbacca, and this one is, I think, better looking, and it is a little bigger, and I like all the layering to get the fur, and of course the weapon looks good, but the head is all wrong. Mouth is okay, but the fact that the head tapers in like a pin and the eyes, just didn't work out. And so it seems to be that the Star Wars brick-built characters are still gonna struggle on the secondary market. Another Star Wars product, 75288, the AT-AT, one more mention up to 11. So many Star Wars sets on this not top table. Star Wars are some of the best investments, and then they're also some of the worst investments in Lego. But if you can pick through that, you can do a pretty good job, in my opinion. But I agree, this is one I am skipping. It's a cool looking set, over 3 years on the shelves, $170 for around 1,250 pieces, super expensive. But Lego has made a lot of AT-ATs, and they will continue to make more. Yes, the previous ones have done okay in some cases, but I think the market is starting to get saturated with these. And one thing to point out is that Brickset says that 4 of the 6 minifigures are exclusive, which is technically accurate. And the minifigures are okay, good characters, but you and I both know, looking at this, there's nothing particularly special about them. We've had these characters in very similar or same prints in the past. And I wanted to show you that if we go to the parts inventory and sort by elements and sets, we can see that none of the elements in this set are actually only in this set, which means that the minifigures that are exclusive because the torso, which is in another set, is connected up with a headpiece or a legs piece that is also in another set, but it's the first time that that combination has been done. For all those reasons, I agree, it is a skip for me. And then same story with the next 3 sets on the table. The Imperial TIE Fighter, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, and Boba Fett's Starship. They all have a 2.5 or 3 year shelf life. They all have 8 or 9 mentions against investing, and they all are $45 or $50, which seems a little expensive to me in all 3 cases. Boba Fett's Starship or Slave One only has 2 minifigures. Neither of them are exclusive, even though they both look fantastic. They are not exclusive. The X-Wing has 4 minifigures, none of them are exclusive. And then the TIE Fighter has 3, and 2 of them are exclusive, but we've had very similar in the past. And same as the AT-AT, Lego has made tons of each of these vehicles. They will continue to make tons more, and so I don't think there's going to be anything too special about them. I do want to say that the TIE Fighter was $25, I think, at Walmart for a pretty long time. Some people did pick up a bunch of those, and hey, if you're getting this set at $25 and you sell it for $50, then you're almost doubling your money. That's not bad, but in general, I agree that they are good sets to skip. A Harry Potter set, 76399, the Hogwarts Magical Trunk. It's a $65 set for the 600 pieces, and it's just kind of a weird set, so it's definitely one that I'm skipping. Lots of minifigures, and I think you can interchange some of these parts, but they really look plain. Sorting Hat's nice, but outside of some minifigures, again, that look kind of plain, there just isn't much that's too special here. And the big issue is that the Harry Potter theme is really cooling off in the secondary market. Lego's still making a lot of great Harry Potter sets. My kids love getting them, and so we certainly are consumers of one copy of a lot of the Harry Potter products, but rarely am I looking at a Lego Harry Potter product that I want to get more than one copy. Clearly the theme has lost some popularity in the Lego universe. It'll be interesting to see how much longer Lego makes Harry Potter sets, or if Lego just takes a little break and then comes back. I'm not thinking that Lego Harry Potter is done forever or is close to being done, but it's something that Lego is certainly thinking about, I'm sure. A stadium set, the last of the three to retire, 10299, the Real Madrid Stadium. It's pretty cool looking, $400 for the almost 5,900 pieces. That makes a lot more sense for these large sets on a price to part ratio, but the market is just going to be really narrow for these. And if we look at the previous two as comparables, the Old Trafford Manchester United Stadium retired in 2022, $300 MSRP, and it's $310. And then the Camp Nou that also retired in 2022 was $350 MSRP, and it's only $300. Well-designed sets, but a very niche market, and therefore the demand is just going to be too low on the secondary market. 75322, the Hoth ATST. I lumped this in with the other common Star Wars vehicles we just talked about. Lego will make a lot more of these, but on top of that, this one, although it's a good design and it's very accurate to the source material, it's just a gray blob for $50. Yeah, 586 pieces, but it just doesn't look like a $50 set. All of the minifigures are exclusive, but again, the driver we've had before, Chewbacca we've had many before. It's just slightly different prints. The Rebel Trooper, same thing, just slightly different on a print or two, and then the probe droid doesn't count, it's just a brick-built minifigure. 75324, the Dark Trooper attack, one more mention, so 7 total against investing. And I don't agree with this one. It's kind of a cool set. I like the scene. It reminds me of a diorama. All the minifigures are outstanding. Luke and the hood and the cape with the nice gray on black printing looks super cool, and the nice accurate detail that Lego paid attention to and executed correctly with the skin tone colored hand on his left and then the black colored hand on his right. And then the other 3 minifigures are 3 of these Dark Troopers, and in minifigure form, these Dark Troopers are awesome. This minifigure is not exclusive to this set, but it's only in one other set, the Imperial Light Cruiser, which was a $160 set. It's only gone up to $172. It did only retire last year, and there was only one Dark Trooper minifigure in this entire set. And so if you want to get more than one or get a bunch of them, you got to come over to this set. Not that I think the Dark Troopers are going to be huge army building drivers, but I think some people will want 12, 20, maybe 30 of them in some cases. But with all that said, the $35 MSRP price point is way too high. I knew this set would come down a lot, and so early on I was saying that if it was $20, then I would pick some up, and then it even went to $18 at Target recently. So I picked up 6 at the $18 price point. I think I have 8 total now. I don't think they're going to go gangbusters, but I think it is flying under the radar a little bit. And I mentioned the dioramas. Lego's got 5 of them so far. They are all super cool in my opinion. 2 more coming, the Tantive 4 boarding diorama and the Boonta Eve pod race diorama. Those 2 should be awesome. And I think this, as long as you take off the little action feature pieces right here, will go nicely with the other dioramas, especially if you get a couple of these and mod them to make a haul a little bigger and add some more Dark Troopers. The more I talk about this set, the more I love this set. So it'll be interesting to watch this one on the secondary market. 75326 Boba Fett's Throne Room. 2 more mentions up to $700 for the 732 pieces. Way too expensive, but 7 minifigures. 6 of them are exclusive, and all the minifigures are really interesting and unique looking. So very good minifigures. And this set really isn't too bad at all either. I know the show wasn't that popular, but it's a cool scene, common scene in the show. And again, you get the whole plethora of minifigures that I think is awesome. The main issue is that it wasn't a popular set and it was heavily discounted early in its life, as low as $50 at Costco and some other places. Anybody could easily get this set at $70 and stack some stuff off, and you're close to 50% off anyways. And so unless you are getting it for probably 40 or 50 after stacking all of the promos and discounts and everything else, then I think it's just going to be tying up money for way too long for very small returns. And another Star Wars set, 75334, Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show. $40 for the 408 pieces is way too high. So a lot of examples of Lego way overpricing some of these Star Wars sets, but we've been able to get it for $35, and we've even able to get it for $25 and stack some stuff on top of that. And I bet you we were close to $20. And I made the mistake that when it got to $35 at Best Buy, maybe 9 months ago, I started salivating and picked up only 2 of them. But clearly that was a miscalculation because the price went much lower, just over a year's shelf life, which is pretty good. All 4 minifigures are exclusive. Captain Tala is okay, but absolutely needed for the set. Obi-Wan looks fantastic. Nice color and printing. Great face. Darth Vader, awesome as always. Any Darth Vader is great. And then the Ned B loader droid is the star of the show. I love the torso piece that's bulked out with the extra droid armor and the droid head printing all through the hips and the legs. Very good minifigure. So with all that said, at the right price, I think this one is flying under the radar a little bit. A lot of complaints that we're paying even $30 or $35 for, yeah, some minifigures, but then just a slab of rock. But I think that's really understating it. That slab of rock is a little more than what it initially looks like, because really good action features with the fire. There's a line of fire here that can pop up from under this slab of rock. You can tilt these over and have some more fire splashing out. You've got this generator or motor type build with some fire connected to that. And even though the show wasn't great, this is a very memorable scene that looked really cool. So maybe the storyline at this part of the show was lacking, but visually the scene was fantastic. Probably a longer hold time, but I am thinking that this one's flying under the radar a little bit. Next up is 76215 Black Panther. Got 3 more mentions against investing, up to 7 total, and this set pains me every time to talk about on the not top sets because it's a cool set, but so poorly executed by Lego. The bust and the hands all in the same set seems like such a great idea, but it breaks down in 2 major ways. Number one, it's $350, which is an insane price for the 2,900 pieces. And it doesn't fit with Venom or Carnage or any of the other superheroes' helmets and busts. And that's because this Black Panther bust is so much bigger than those 2. And those 2 were $60, $70, a very reasonable price point. You get those on sale, you're doing pretty well, a nice collection. And then you get this one coming in at $350 that is so huge compared to the others. Such a shame, because I really like Black Panther and I really like the design and the overall look of this set, but it just doesn't fit and it prices everybody out of it in most cases, and I think there's very little room for it to grow post-retirement. On to the first Star Wars mech, 75368. The Darth Vader mech got 2 more mentions, up to 6 against investing. The first wave of all 3 mechs came out in August, so they haven't been on the shelves too long. $16 price point doesn't seem too bad, but they've already been on sale for $13. And although this looks decent, the idea of Darth Vader having a mech just seems really weird and it turns a lot of people off. Looking at the first wave of mechs, Darth Vader is my least favorite. Boba Fett is my favorite by far. That's true for most people. And then the Stormtrooper mech is pretty good also, in my opinion. So although it totally makes sense that a lot of people are not liking the Darth Vader mech because it just doesn't make sense. Darth Vader is the most powerful, awesome bad guy character in Star Wars. Why in the world would any of his powers or strength need to be enhanced by a mech? What he already has outpowers this machinery right here. But from a toy perspective, I think they're really cool. And from an investing perspective, you do wonder, since this is a new sub-theme, if you will, for the Star Wars theme, and it's the first wave, maybe looking back, if Lego ends up making 7 to 15 different characters in mech form, and it sounds like they're coming out with more, maybe looking back, people will say, you know what, I do want to collect all these, and I poo-pooed the originals, and now I want to come back and get them. And on top of it, a lot of people are down on these sets, so I imagine they're not great sellers at this point, and maybe they fly under the radar a little bit. So something to think about on those. I think they're intriguing to keep an eye on, but it's way too early in their shelf life. 42127, the Batman Batmobile, this $100 Technic vehicle. Technic vehicles typically don't do well, and this one just doesn't stand out. Yes, it generally looks like this version of the Batmobile, but this version doesn't really scream Batmobile when you look at it, so I think the set's boring, and therefore I don't think it's a good investment. 75366, the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar. I don't invest in advent calendars unless you can pick them up for about $15. I know this one has a couple of good minifigures in it, and some people are saying at the $20 price point they'd pick it up, but I'm not going for it unless it is cheaper than that. 75370, the Stormtrooper mech, 2 more mentions, up to 5 total against investing. We just talked about this one, and I think it's okay. The Boba Fett mech is still the best by far, but I could see some people wanting to get a few of these and have a little Stormtrooper mech cavalry section of their army. Yes, it's not conical, but kids and others could have some fun with these. Back to Chewbacca, 75371. We already had some fun with this set. It's a $200 set. Overall, it really doesn't look bad from the mouth down. I think all the layering to get the fur effect is pretty good. I like the size of it. It's pretty tall, but the pinhead and the eyes are a real problem like we talked about. Low probability this set is of any value once it leaves the shelves. 40541 and 40542, these are the 2 soccer or football related brickheads, and I agree, I'm skipping them both for investing. At least in my market, soccer, football, it's just not popular enough, and both of these brickheads are very plain looking, and on top of it, they are $20, which means that it's $10 for the character and then another $10 for the very simple soccer goal. That doesn't make sense to me from a price point perspective, so I agree. Even though most brickheads are good, those are 2 worth skipping. 76193, the Guardian ship. 1 more mention, up to 4 total. It's $160 for 1,900 pieces, 2.5 year shelf life, 6 minifigures, only 1 of them is unique. But it's a decent looking set overall, but there's just no buzz around it. I think the color is a little bit of a turnoff. I know it's pretty accurate, but I certainly don't like how it looks very much. The minifigures aren't that special. They're well designed and well produced, but they're characters for the most part that we can get in other forms and other sets pretty easily. And the $160 price point is just that kind of no man's land price point. Sets that are about $100 can do really well, and then you get into the more expensive sets. 200 plus can do pretty well, but it's hard for the $160, $170 sets to grow in retirement. They just typically feel like they're overpriced at their MSRP, even though this is a pretty good price to part ratio. Just looking at it, it doesn't seem like it's $160 worth of Lego set, Lego plastic. And again, superhero sets lately are really not great investments. Maybe the 1 or 2 diamond in the rough is going to do really well, but overall the superhero sets are cooling off on the secondary market. 75341, Luke Skywalker's land speeder, the UCS. 2 more mentions, up to 4. Came out in May of 22. Probably going to retire at the end of 24, so that'd make it a 2.5 year shelf life. $240. Very expensive, but it is a UCS set, so it kind of makes sense. And if we all remember, this set was produced kind of as a joke. It's a little bit of a meme and a little bit of a cult following, and Lego said, the heck with it. We'll go ahead and produce the UCS land speeder. I think partly because of that, a lot of people are really turned off about this set, but I think there are some things worth pointing out. Number 1, it is a 4.3 on brick set, which is a very good rating for brick set. Number 2, it looks pretty good. I like the color of the set and the red accents seats and the gray detailing through the nose, and then the engine construction looks good. And the second thing to point out on this UCS land speeder is that if we look at the other Star Wars UCS sets, the original version of a ship is typically doing very well. So the first X-Wing, yes, it retired back in 2002, but it is over $1,300. The original Imperial Star Destroyer is almost $1,000. The original Death Star is $3,500. The original Millennium Falcon is $2,100. This was close to $5,000 before the super large Millennium Falcon was put on the market. And so if we keep looking through this list, we notice that there is not a land speeder. And so once that set retires, it's going to hit this list as the first land speeder that has retired in UCS form. And because of that, maybe it's a long hold time, but because of that, maybe this set actually will have some legs in the secondary market. 75363, the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter Microfighter. 4 mentions against. This set's ridiculous. 88 pieces and it's $16. Microfighters used to be $10. This one is really not a good build in my opinion. It comes with one common Mandalorian minifigure, and then it comes with a Grogu, which is very nice to have, but it cost Lego about 2 pennies to produce that tiny little minifigure. And so how these went up to $16 per unit is a mystery to all of us. Some microfighters can do well, but this one has too many checks against it. 42122, the Technic Jeep Wrangler. And this is one that I don't really agree with. It is $50. But we have been able to get it very commonly for $40 or $35, and then it was $25. I forget where, but I picked up 4 or 5 at the $25 price point. Yes, Technic vehicles typically don't do well, like I said. And yes, this one is going to have a 3-year shelf life. I think it's pretty much already gone at this point, but there's probably 1 or 2 out there in the wild somewhere. But Jeep enthusiasts do like their Jeep decor and Jeep products, and Jeep enthusiasts typically come to the table with a really strong following for stuff like this. And so I think this one will be okay. Not great, but okay, especially the ones that I got at the $25 price point. 76216, the Iron Man Armory. 2 more mentions, up to 3 against investing. 1.5-year shelf life. Only $90 for the 496 pieces. Yes, it comes with a bunch of minifigures, 8 in total. 4 of them are unique. The minifigures look good, but Lego has done this before, and it didn't work out too well previously for investors. And same thing this time. DG and I were actually debating if we could get this set 50% off, would it be worth it? And I was saying no, I would want it for $25 or $30 to make it worth my time. If we look at previous Iron Man Hall of Armor type sets, and oh, by the way, this one is called the Iron Man Armory, but it's the same concept. This one retired in 2021. It was a $60 set with 6 minifigures, and it's going for $47 now. I picked one up on a Amazon Prime Day, I think for $25. Really excited at the time, and now I'm like, not great. But really, I got that for myself. I just thought it'd be fun to have all the minifigures. Another example is the add-on to the previous one that we looked at, and this one actually is semi-decent, $30 up to $45, also retired in 2021. 76400, Hogwarts Carriage and Thestrals. Like I said before, the Harry Potter theme is cooling off on the secondary market. This one got some talk because of the baby Thestral, but I think I saw that this same mold is coming out in a new set. So there is nothing special here, nothing of value in my opinion. 76210, the super large and expensive Hulkbuster, $550 for the 4,000 pieces. Way off kilter when it comes to the price to part ratio for large sets. Typically with very large sets, you actually get a decent price to part ratio. This one is way off. This set has been heavily discounted pretty much out of the gate, and it's a pretty unpopular set because the design, shaping, and proportions through the whole torso area is pretty far off from how it should look. 76232, the Hoopty. This is one of my favorite sets to talk about. There was a lot of debate when it came out at the $90 price point for 420 pieces and a whopping 3 minifigures. 2 of the 3 are unique, but this is a very simple build that is basically a gray blob with 3 very good minifigures. In terms of the art design on them, I don't know how the production is. But for me, I don't think there's any debate on this set. I think Lego did this purely as a joke and was just messing with us consumers because it's kind of fun for them, I'm sure, to see how high they can put a price on a ridiculous set and see how it does. It's good data and it's good interest to them. And I have no issue if they want to price this set double what it should be. It's easy for me to skip it, but yeah, I absolutely believe this is just a inside joke from Lego having some fun. The 3 Minecraft brickheads, Alex, Llama, that llama face is adorable, and then Zombie. Can't say that Zombie is adorable, but it's a good looking brickhead. Generally, people are in favor of investing in these sets, as am I, but I do have one caveat, which we'll get to in a second. But first, let's look at how the one other Minecraft brickhead is doing on the secondary market. It's all the way down here on the bottom of the list. It's a 2-pack Steve and Creeper. It was a $20 set, retired in 2018, and it's only going for $107, so it's okay. Obviously, I'm kidding. That is awesome, and I am hopeful that these 3 will do very well. But back to these 3, the llama to me is the clear winner. Zombie is a pretty distant second place, and then Alex is a very distant third place. So I was just at the Lego store the other day. Llama sold out very quickly. Zombie was also sold out, wasn't as quick, but still sold out. So all that the Lego store had left was Alex, and I would not be picking these up without being able to get the other 2. I have 6 of each, and I'm going to sell them as a 3-pack in a couple of years. The only reason I'm including this one is because it's the same year as the other 2. And I expect Llama in particular and Zombie a little bit to make this one worth having as part of the 3-pack when I combine them all together in one box for shipping. 42137 Formula E Porsche 99X electric. Again, Technic vehicles, not a great investment typically. This one doesn't look too good, but actually my son has now gotten into collecting the $50 Technic vehicles, so he'll get this one at some point, even though he has also told me he doesn't really like it, but I know he wants them all, so we'll get this one. This next grouping on the table, I don't have the brick set pages open, but it's mostly Avatar sets and then Black Panther, and all of these sets have been heavily discounted through their life. No buzz. Both movies I think were okay. I didn't see either of them, but in general, I'm staying away from the Avatar sets and I'm staying away from the Black Panther sets. There's just no data indication that they are going to do well on the secondary market because of how heavily they've been discounted and how there is no buzz around them. So now on to a new set, 10329 Tiny Plants. Got its first 2 mentions against investing. I'll be curious to see if it gets many more negative mentions. It's a $50 set, 758 pieces, just came out recently. And when I first saw this, although I like the botanical sets a lot, my gut reaction was, ooh, that's a lot of the dark orange clay pottery color in one side. I think that's dark orange. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And it's hard for your eyes not to get distracted by all those little pots. But I saw this set built in the Lego store the other day. And when it's built, you can see a little bit more of the 3-dimensionality of it. And you can place the pots, tighter together, more spread out, maybe in different parts of your house. The flower builds themselves are excellent. And so I think right now this set is a little bit undervalued from a popularity and creativity and, pleasing on the eye perspective. And so it is definitely one I'm going to watch, but it is so early in its shelf life that it's not worth paying too close attention to now. 76251 Star-Lord's helmet, 2 mentions against. This is just a weird set. Carnage is doing decent. Venom is expected to do decent, but this is now $80. It's a pencil holder or whatever else you would want to put in there. It does look good in the face and mask area, but very little buzz around it. I think mostly because of the $80 price point for 602 pieces. It's still relatively new, but with the new Spider-Man helmet bust announced, it could be boosted by that new Spider-Man set, and maybe long-term this one could do okay, but it's still way too early to tell. 21344, the Orient Express train, the very new licensed ideas set that is a fantastic looking set. So much good stuff about this set. The blue color is striking. The gold accent looks amazing. It is the same gauge as standard Lego track, even though it doesn't come with Lego track. It's instead the artistic, stylized, brick-built track that is really pleasing to look at if this is a display piece. Great posh interior detail. I mean, this is going to be a fun set to build. $300 for 2,500 pieces. Not too bad for an ideas and a train set. And if we look at other past ideas sets, they typically do well. just scrolling through all of these, I know we've talked about them before, but the vast majority of them are having very good secondary market growth rates. Like Voltron, for example, that was not very popular, $180. It's over $320 now. But with all that said, there is some concern and negativity around this set, and it's primarily because it is not powered, and Lego did not provide an easy way for us to retrofit and get it powered. And also there's concern that the length of the passenger cars may be too long, that it would consistently ride around the track without derailing. And so now at the end of the day, this really just becomes a display piece, and that has a lot of people turned off. I think it's more of an emotional reaction, because I think when we heard that this set was being announced, then we saw the initial pictures, we thought this is going to be great, it's going to be powered, we can add it to our city, run it with the other trains, and it was a pretty big letdown that Lego didn't either design that in originally or have an easy retrofit. But coming back to previous ideas sets, most of them are display pieces. And again, growth rates are good. Like Ship in the Bottle, originally $70, up near $100. And this set you could have got for, I think it was like $40 a few times. International Space Station just retired last year, $70, creeping up a little bit. Expectation is that this one will jump up once it gets closer to the standard 2-year wait time. So I'm not down on this set yet, but it is so new, similar to the other ones we've talked about that just came out. All we can do is watch it right now. If it has a super long shelf life, then we're out. But if it has a typical 2 to 3 year idea shelf life, then I'm going to keep an eye on sales and buzz and Camel 3X metrics and anything else I can find. Because on the surface, when we look at this, it seems like it should be a great investment with how fantastic the set looks and the fact that it's under the ideas line. 40673 Spring Festival Mickey Mouse. It's a $10 brickheads. It's adorable. It's colorful. It's amazing. I love it. I don't think that it should be on the not top sets table. And if we look at the previous single character pack Mickey Mouse set, $10, retired in 2018, and it's a $55 box now. And this Mickey also looks fantastic. I think this one is going to be an easy winner unless something weird happens. But in contrast, 40678, the festival calendar, I agree. This is one that I would be skipping. It looks cool, but at the end of the day, it's just a calendar. There's a new theme coming out in 2024, Animal Crossing. This is the first one, Julian's birthday party. $15 set for 170 pieces. A lot going on, a cool minifigure. I don't know anything about Animal Crossing, so I don't have anything intelligent to say about these sets, other than it is way too early to really focus on them. Here's Bunny's outdoor activities. Here's Captain's Island boat tour, which is interestingly enough not on our table over here, and this one looks kind of interesting, I guess. Isabel's house visit. That looks kind of cool. And then lastly, Nooks and Cranny Rosie's house is, nope, just house, singular. And that one also looks kind of cool, but so far I'm not seeing anything that would suggest good investment, but it is a new theme, and so it's something we'll want to keep an eye on as it gets towards the end of its shelf life. And this one is kind of interesting. Nice little build there, but it's $75 for 535 pieces and only a couple of minifigures. Monkey Kid 80054 Megapolis City. Very cool set. Very busy, kind of disjointed in a lot of ways, but that's the appeal of this set. I like it a lot. That Ferris wheel is cool. Nice homage to the original Lego duck. So very cool stuff in that set. Too early to tell, but my gut reaction is I like it, at least for my own collection, partly because there are some other really cool city-like Monkey Kid sets. If we scroll down the list here, Monkey Kid's Team Hideout. Yeah, it's a little bit of landscape, but it's got some structure and buildings to it. And then if we keep scrolling down the list, we've got the Dragon of the East Palace, which is like an underwater type city. I don't really know, but it looks like there's some underwater. Yeah, that's an underwater type city. That one looks fantastic. And then my favorite, if we keep going down the list, is City of Lanterns. Very similar to Megapolis, with it all disjointed and modular and all that kind of stuff. So I really don't know if these sets are going to be great investments or just completely fall off the radar when they start to retire. But I think these larger Monkey Kid City sets that Lego now has a few of, and you can put them together and make a whole Monkey Kid City or theme, and you can do some modular stuff. I think there's a chance there. 80112, the Auspicious Dragon. seasonal related to the Chinese New Year. Some dragons, especially in the Ninjago theme, have done well in the past. This one's only $90 for almost 1,200 pieces. This is a very cool looking dragon. I don't think it's going to be a strong investment, but it is a very unique set. And then last on the table is another Chinese New Year family reunion celebration. $130 for over 1,800 pieces. Seems like a great deal. And this one's kind of cool. And this one I do have my eye on. It's very new again, so we just need to watch it for now. But it does look like it could fit in with a city or other modular buildings. And even though this one is open back, it still has a lot of depth and a lot of great detail, tons of minifigures, fantastic value. And I think it looks cool. And I think a lot of other people are going to think it looks cool. So not saying it's a good investment right now, just saying that it's one that we should keep an eye on. Time to finish up with my lists of 3. And first, I will be very grinchy and give you the 3 that I absolutely agree with on this table and that I am avoiding for investing and reselling. In third place is the Stadium 10299. It pains me because the stadiums are cool, but like we looked at, just way too narrow of a market. There is going to be no demand on the secondary market. There won't be much supply, but even with low supply, you got to have some demand. It's just not going to be there. And so I agree with that set. And the second one that I agree with is 75318, The Child. These brick-built Star Wars figures just aren't quite there yet when it comes to the sculpting, especially in the face and eyes area. And then the one I agree with most is the Hogwarts Magical Trunk. And let me tell you, I had lots of good choices on this table to agree with. So there are so many others out there like the Hoopty that could have been easy picks. So obviously picking this list of 3 was pretty easy. But as I stated, although we like the Lego Harry Potter products, the Harry Potter theme on the secondary market really is cooling off. And this one in particular is just super weird looking. I don't know how it fits in with other Harry Potter sets. Yes, some minifigures, but very plain. And therefore, I see this one just being a totally forgotten set. All right, now I'll use the spirit of my Santa hat and bring some cheer and give you the 3 that I disagree with on this table, but the 3 that I actually think are worth looking at for investing. Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else. In third place is 75334, Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. Cool action feature with the fire. Great minifigures. All 4 of them are exclusive. And yes, a crazy $50 price point, but we've been able to get it for 25, 30, stack some things on there. We can get a pretty low price on this set. Think a longer hold time while we let the initial negative reaction to the Obi-Wan Kenobi show kind of wear off. And then I think this one could be a decent investment. My second set that I disagree with on this table is Dark Trooper Attack. We talked about it at length. Pretty short, just over 1.5 years shelf life. Super cool minifigures, super cool scene. Yes, it's just a hallway, but the hallways in Star Wars are awesome. And so I want a couple of these, mod them, stack them together, and have a really great scene that goes with the other dioramas. And then a little bit of surprise here, but my number 1 set that I really want to invest in is this new Spring Festival Mickey Mouse Brickheads. It probably won't have a very long shelf life. I'm going to guess 1 year. And as we saw, the previous single pack Mickey Brickhead is doing really well. And this one looks so different than the original that it won't feel like just a repeat to Brickhead and Disney collectors. I think they will want both. And this one is super cool with the color and clothes and details that Mickey has in this set. So those are my lists of 3 for you. That means that's a wrap on this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.